Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. It's Friday. We love Fridays here. Oh, yes. End of the week for most of us. And then you get to rest tomorrow. And we have a beautiful, pretty beautiful day. I think we may have a little rain coming in the weekend. But I'm not going to even look at that. I'm just going to look totally past that and the percentages and all that. I'm so sick of polls and percentages and everything right now. It's just going to, if it rains, so what? Still going to have a good time. But it is the day to just enjoy that you got Saturday and Sunday coming up. And I just am so excited about my guest today. And I didn't tell you about it yesterday because I didn't know about it until yesterday that I was going to have her on. Kate Bihm is here, and she's, of course, running in a runoff right now for the judgeship in the 9th District Court of Montgomery County. And I'm so proud of myself for even having that, just be able to say that. And so she's here, and I'm so thankful that you're here. And I saw her yesterday.
Thank you for having me back. I'm excited to be here.
Anytime.
Yeah.
You just make the call and go like, I'm going to be on. And then I'll just, clear the deck. You come on. And also, we think Connor Halstead's going to be here. Connor Halstead is a youth minister at a church here, and we love having him on because his perspective of things that are going on with the youth, and he's a millennialist. If they had come up with a better word for that group of people.
It is a little hard to say.
And I think I'm going to probably ask him, his mindset. Now, Richard is also a millennialist, but he's an old soul. There's something, that's, you talk to him, and
that's why he's into radio.
I think so. I think this is it's good. He gets a microphone and he can say the things, and you can turn them off if you want to. It's perfect. So, but yesterday was the Taste Fest, and I was telling everybody, just slobbering over that. I couldn't wait to go to that because I love the Taste Fest.
It was outstanding. It's the first year I've ever ggone.
Oh, it was?
Yes.
Oh, man.
So it's my first year to attend, and I had a ball, and the crowd was huge.
Now, it was so much more crowded than the last 2 years that I went.
Awesome.
And I brought my grandchildren, and they just love it. You would think the kids would be bored, like, oh, believe my kids love to eat.
So many things to sample.
Oh, yes. And you have
wheels to spin.
That's exactly right. And they have games.
I got an iPad, a pirate eye patch out of it.
I thought you had an iPad. Wait a minute, where was the iPad?
Right. They were giving me iPads.
Wait a minute.
No, an eye patch.
Eye patch. Okay, that's fine. But you walk in there and everything is free, and you get as much as you want. It's like a humongous all-you-can-eat buffet. And then they have adult beverages but they don't give you enough to make anybody too weird when they leave, To
make it not family friendly.
That's exactly right. It is so family friendly. And what was great is we got there and immediately got there, and my granddaughter saw friends from school, and so they got to walk around with them, and then they'd walk around with us, and we just, it was great. It was great fun, and they enjoyed it so much. They did not want to leave. It was 7:30. Everybody starts running out of food because it was so crowded. I don't know if they were expecting that, but they had a huge crowd, and I hated that anybody found out about it. I was trying to keep that totally under the radar and not tell people about it, but I had to just go on and on about it and see, I've told people, All-Star Catering was there, and he was talking about, the last time I was on your show, and then I haven't been back because I've been so... I've been so busy and so slammed. And I said, well, see, that's what you get for being on the Cindy Cochran Show. He said, I know. It just blew up after I was on your show. And so I went there, and we love Cody Spence. He comes on and talks about everything that they're doing and how they saved marriages by having, you can go by and pick up your meal, and the family gets fed, the husband gets fed. And so they're great. They're great for the community. But he had something there that was just, I love bacon. I love bacon. Mm-hmm. But he had candied bacon. What a combination. The two things I probably love the most, candy and bacon. And I took a bite of that. I couldn't believe it. I went, this is amazing.
It's as American as apple pie and fireworks.
Really? It needs to be a national food.
Bacon.
That's right.
That's what this country is all about.
I was blown away, Kay. I was totally blown away.
I know.
And the kids who love bacon.
The Southwest tamales with the queso. And
okay.
Those are
I got to tell you, I went, please, if I come back by and disguise myself, can I get other more helpings. And she's, of course, come on by. So I met his dad, and his dad is the one that the recipes and the cooking and all that, he has all that knowledge. And he said, Cody is a salesman. Cody understands how to market stuff. And we've had him on, and I'll ask him a question about, well, how does this recipe, or does milk really boil it? And he goes, I don't know anything about that. I just know that it's good and people love it. And I try and let people know where it is.
Where to find it.
Yeah, where to find them. And so I can't believe I pass All-Star Catering like every day going to take the kids to school, and I didn't know it was right there in Willis. It's in Willis. Okay,
because he was talking about the dinner to go.
Yes.
Which, as a very busy candidate,
right,
I don't cook as much as I did 9 months ago.
You will love this.
So when he mentioned it, I was like, well...
They've got casseroles that just blow you away. And that's what they specialize in, but they can do anything. And people will come up and have them customize things for an event or so.
Just to take home with them and pop it in the oven and impress their friends.
And that tamale dish
that's so
was,
good.
They came up with that from a picture that a client came in and said, can you make this? It was just a picture.
Right.
And they said it was a tamale. So they knew how to do the tamales, but the sauce and all the stuff, it was amazing. But anyway, it was a great event. It happens every year at this time, and it's called Taste Fest. And as soon as next year they start letting the tickets go, I will let you guys know. And I had one ticket I was going to give away. And I said, so whoever Facebooked me first, Dennis O'Connor was right on. I mean, he was right there, and he goes, I want the ticket. And so we said, okay, you can come by. And we gave him an extra one, and he says, I got to have a date. And we went, I didn't know you dated, so that's great. So please bring somebody. And he came with Deanie Harmon, who's been on our show before, and she is amazing. She's 17. Do you know Deanie?
I don't know her.
She is a 17-year veteran of the undercover narcotics in Houston. Amazing woman, amazing stories and all. And so here comes,
I bet she does.
Here comes Dennis with his new haircut and his shirt and his suspender. He looks so dapper and walks in with Deanie, and this is the first time they'd been there too. And I saw them midway, and they went, this is a blast. This is so much fun. And just eating and mingling and all that just was a great time.
One of my favorite things about it was that I follow a lot of local businesses and restaurants on social media, just because I think it's important to do that to kind of help out our fellow small business owners.
Right.
But there were several restaurants that I follow, and Red Onion Cookers, I follow them on Facebook, and they're always posting these pictures of amazing food, and I've never hired them to cater an event,
right?
Because I'm kind of a frustrated caterer myself. So if I'm cooking for less than, say, 75 people, I'll usually try to do it myself, or something like that. It's the craziest thing, I know. And so it was the first time I've gotten to try their food, and several local restaurants that I hadn't been to that were kind of little nooks that I just hadn't tried yet, or that were off the beaten path, that I was really glad to be able to taste their stuff. And
that's what's so great about it. It's an amazing Chamber of Commerce event.
It is.
What a way to bring people into the chamber,
yes,
of course, and then let them see how we're going to promote you. And I ran into one of the general managers of Kroger and in Willis, and I saw him and I went, "You're my Kroger guy." And he goes, "I'm your what?" I said, "I'm there so much that I feel like you guys should name an aisle after me." And he goes,
Cindy Cochran / cereal aisle.
That's right. I deserve it. And he started laughing. And then he said, "Listen," I told him about the show. And I said, "I would love to have y'all come on, because I have asked your produce guy, please come on the show and tell us how to, to make sure that we know how to make that we know that we're buying the right watermelon and all." And so he would say, "I don't think they'll let me do that. I think we have to ask corporate." Well, so Mike said, "Well, corporate's here, so let me go find the guy and you come over and talk to him, because that'll be great." So I talked to him, and they were just they were very excited about saying, "Of course, we would love to do that." And it's local. You're getting ready to go FM, so you're going to be able to reach all these people, and it's a signature store. So they said, "Yes, of course, we'd like to do that." And what they want to talk about is their the food bank and how they support Montgomery County's food bank and all that, and how you can be a part of that. And they also have job fairs and stuff. So they want to talk about the community-minded stuff. I want to talk about when do you stock? When should people really go shop? Because sometimes I get there and it looks like y'all hadn't stocked for, like that whole day. So.
The Kroger near our house is always sold out of blueberry Nutri-Grain bars. And that is the only flavor that my husband will eat. He eats one every morning for breakfast. I think they're horrible. And so whenever I'm there and they're sold out, I'm like, who else is buying blueberry Nutri-Grain bars?
I got to tell you,
it's the most popular flavor.
I have conversations with them all the time. I said, okay, this stuff doesn't sell at all. I mean, it sits here, it's just full, line full. This one is always gone. I have to reach way back to see if there's any more jars of this back here.
Maybe double up.
I said, who does the ordering? Could I talk to them? And they go like, well, they're not here today, but we'll tell them what you said. And I said, well, tell them this is ridiculous. You're not ordering correctly.
What I always want to know is who is in charge of deciding what goes on which aisle. At our Kroger, the Gladware, like the toss away, plastic containers,
right,
are in the weirdest place. It's next to the coffee.
Well,
I always say, why is that not next to the paper plates and Ziploc bags? Is what I want to know.
In what world do you consider this item? So I'll know where to at least go towards. And then when they change things up, and I understand the changing things up so that you'll walk all the way back to the store and pass all the items that you forgot. And I'm the sucker for it. I am the number one sucker for it. I understand why they do that, but it's aggravating. But I told him, I said, I promise I won't do any gotcha questions, and he just laughed. I went, keep laughing, because I probably will do something, like, why is it? So they said they'd listen to some of the shows, that they would go to YouTube and dial up the Cindy Cochran Show. I'm so afraid of what show they might dial up. But I said, you need to do about 10 of them to really get it, really get it, to understand what it's about. So anyway, I'm excited for all the people I got to meet. Don Stockton, who's the superintendent at school's going to, he'll come on, and I haven't seen him, so I get to connect with all these people. It's a great way of, doing your connecting with groups of people, connecting with a certain person, and you can see them everywhere. It's all walks of life in that Taste Fest. So
it's business people, it's teachers, it's families with kids. It's like you said, all different walks of life. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, if I could have had the kids walk in on their knees and say, yes, these are 5 and under, that's free. And then you pay for if you're above that. But it really is. It's a great thing to do, and I was really happy to be there, and so happy that so many people just kept coming up and saying, I love this. I've never been here. This is so great. Fun. So I'm glad you got to go. Yes. And that's where I saw Kate. And she's going to run off, and Monday is going to be
early voting.
Early voting.
Monday.
Oh, yes. So Monday, early voting.
7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
So you don't have to wait in the lines. This is the deal. Go right in.
You can vote at any early voting location in Montgomery County, and there are 7.
Right.
So there is the South County Community Center, which is next to the South County Library, kind of near the pavilion in the Woodlands. There is Mitchell Library in the back of the Woodlands on Ash Lane, which is a new location. And I will tell you, if you want no line to vote, that's the place to go.
Go to the back.
The Woodlands, Magnolia is the Magnolia Community Center, which is kind of over by the railroad tracks off of 1774. Mm-hmm. Downtown Conroe at 207 West Phillips Street on the first floor, which West Phillips, for those of you who keep track of it, it's westbound 105, basically, in downtown Conroe. There is the Willis location, which is at the North County Community Center.
Yes.
In Montgomery.
It's right by my house, yes.
Montgomery at the Lone Star Community Center off of Lone Star Parkway. And then in East County, it is the East County Courthouse Annex.
So there's no excuse.
There's
plenty of places to early vote, get this over with, and and you'll recognize her name because it's Kate, Bihm.
Yes. Vote for Bihm, not for him. That's our campaign.
That's your slogan. I love it.
That's our campaign slogan.
I love it. Well,
and I promise you, for those of you who have been seeing my red and white signs across the county for the last 6 months almost,
right?
Just 2 more weeks.
And then
the political signs
will come down. Okay. Is Joe's Pizza still having all the signs out front?
It's not as bad because they're just, for precincts 1, there are 6 races in the runoff that will be on the ballot.
Okay.
And for the rest of the county, there's only 5. So,
well, we're gonna get right into it. We got to go to a break. We're gonna get right into it about why you should be voting for Kate. This is her time to talk about her and her aspirations of you be the judge. She's going to be the judge and why she's qualified for that. Okay, guys, we'll be right back. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show. Don't go away.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
In a world where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer, unique images still stand out in local newspapers, magazines, and on the internet. Writer and photographer Brad Meyer has gained a reputation for innovation and quality, specializing in an editorial approach to portraits and event photography. For information, visit bkmeyer.com or call 281-221-4812.
Lone Star Community Radio is FM. That's right. Set your radio dials and your button presets to Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1, coming in June of 2016. To celebrate this edition and the addition of video versions of our talk and music shows on YouTube, cable TV, and Our City TV, we are offering special sponsorships rates, which include free audio spots that are played throughout our broadcast. Interested? Check out our sponsor rates for shows just like the one you're listening to online at irlonestar.com/sponsor or call the station at 936-647-5747. Reaching the people of Montgomery County with Montgomery County's community radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. It is Friday, and so it's a lot to look forward to. But right now, you have to look forward to is getting to hear the beautiful Kate Bihm talk about. Now, I'm not trying to be shallow or anything like that, because looks have nothing to do with it. She wants to be treated just like everybody else, and whether it's a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. She's not playing the woman's card or anything like that. But she does have the longest eyelashes I think I've ever seen.
Unique mascara.
Oh, really? Is that it?
It is.
No, you have to have something to start with to have that long of eyelashes.
It attaches like little fibers to your eyelashes.
Does it really?
Super long, yes.
So you don't have
miraculous.
To have it is because your eyes are really pretty.
It's good stuff.
And so now there you found out the secret to Kate Bihm. And she does have more things in depth to talk about.
Than mascara and Kroger.
But see, she's well aware and you can relate to her. That's the thing. Last time, didn't you tell us a story about the spider?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
We did. We talked about the spider.
Yeah, the fear of spiders. And I thought, I like this lady. She's a funny lady, but she is right there on top of all the issues, and it's so much fun to talk to her.
Well, thank you.
But Kate, you're running for the judgeship. Is that right to say the judgeship of the Ninth District Court?
Typically, you say you're in lawyer speak. You say you're running for the bench.
You're running for the bench. Well,
so the position is judge.
Okay, for the position of judge. Now she's got me right. Okay. Well, so she wants to be judge of Ninth District Court. That's what she wants to be the judge for, that Ninth District Court.
Yes.
And she's in a runoff. So that means that the percentages that you got up against your opponent were close enough that you had to have the runoff. And we always like that because it just extends the election year and the whole thing. It's so much fun to listen to.
Because everybody is so excited and feeling really optimistic about politics and government right now that it's just a great time to ask people to hold on just a little longer.
It's almost over. So if you go vote early, and they'll go like, I think everybody that was going to vote voted early. And so I don't even think we do have to have the lines or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it will happen. And you guys, it's going to be Monday starting the early voting. But Kate, so you've done this speech many times. Do you bring something different to every speech, or are you just doing...
Yes. I do not plan my speeches. I usually just speak from the heart and just stand up and, every time I'm going to speak before a group, I pray before I speak.
There you go.
I'm a Christian, and I pray that God's gifts that he has given me will shine, and that his purpose for my life will come through in what I say.
Right.
Not necessarily a victory in this election, but that his purpose for me will be clear to the people who hear it. And so then I just kind of open my mouth and start talking, and sometimes it's compelling and sometimes it's not as compelling. So
but I think that when you open yourself up like that and you do give it over to God, that you're pretty well ensured that it's going to go the right way, because it's an unselfish act at that point, and not just glorifying yourself and all that you're trying to do. You're trying to put the light on what you can do for the community.
Yes. And I think that one of the things that I have learned, I've been campaigning for almost 9 months. On Election Day, it will be exactly 9 months. August 24th is when I announced my candidacy.
And it'll feel like you're birthing a baby at that time.
Sort of. And like a woman who has 3 weeks to go, I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready.
Make this happen.
Or a week and a half until her due date.
I think I started that 2 months.
There's some anxious pacing that goes on. But I feel very strongly that whatever happens, whatever the result of the election is, these last 9 months have had a purpose in my life and in my family's life, and hopefully to other people that I've met. And I can honestly say that having done this now, I have learned so much about myself, but I've met people that I would have never otherwise encountered.
Right.
That I believe that we will remain friends. Some of them probably close friends. And it's just been an incredibly rewarding experience for me. So I'm glad that I have had the opportunity to do it. But going into when I speak and when I talk about my platform, it is very much a part of who I am and what I really deeply believe about our country and our Constitution and who we are as a community here in Montgomery County. That it's something that's very easy for me to talk about because I'm passionate about it. So,
well, I think that
it makes it easy.
When you're right. When you're passionate about something, it's like if you're talking about your children or something, and you don't think about, well, I wonder if this is pleasing them that I'm saying this, and I wonder if they're okay with me saying this, and I hope I'm not offending anybody by talking about how great my children are, but you don't think about that. That's not part of it. It's the passion that you have and the heart you have for your children that comes through. So it's the same thing, I think, because you're a lawyer, and you're a female lawyer, and you have probably put up with a lot of stuff. It is killing me to hear these women that, because Donald Trump said something about a couple of women, and so they're taking it to heart. He's talking to all women, and all women is terribly offended and can't even ever see themselves voting for this. I don't know when women got so thin-skinned about stuff. Some guy says something about me, and because I'm a woman or something, that's not going to bother me, because I know who I am. I know what I think and what I feel is that's, nothing can break that. Right. And when somebody says that about women, it's just like, it may be a very ignorant remark, but we all make ignorant remarks.
We do. We all make mistakes. And I think that sometimes people say things that can be unintentionally offensive.
Right.
Or now, granted, sometimes people say things that are 100% intentionally offensive. And what I find, being a woman in a field that is considered to be male dominated, yes, but it's really not, actually.
Not anymore.
It's about 50-50 for the most part. Is that sometimes people slip, and what's interesting to me is that people assume that you are going to be terribly offended.
Yeah.
And you're not. And I'm just like, I don't care. You know,
That's right. I just am,
you know,
aghast.
it doesn't bother me.
What kills me is these women who dress very manly and very, you know, talk very stern and strong about this because they
Right.
want to be taken seriously, so they feel like they have to act this way. And those people that start complaining about, you know, the war on women and all that, you know, that kills me. Somebody that's come through like the 50s, 60s, and 70s and saw so much change, and I went through that in the industry I chose. It was male dominated, and you had to laugh your way out of a lot of things, or yeah, so you could get out of the room. And there are things that went on through all that, and there was no place like, I'm going to go complain to somebody. I'm going to take care of myself and make sure, you know, this doesn't happen.
So during the time that I have grown up, and when I matured and became an adult, it was not during a time where women were prevented from making choices about education or were discouraged from choosing certain fields or anything like that. And so I certainly never had that feeling. And I came from... my grandfather used to jokingly say, and now my dad and my brothers say, that I come from a long line of strong women. And so that was something that was encouraged in me.
Right.
And because I always
Good.
felt very clear about exactly who I was and what I could accomplish and what I was working towards, I have never really minded being underestimated.
Right.
Because it's a lot easier to do your thing and to be
Right.
successful when you have people maybe ignoring you or just kind of going, well, we'll see how this turns out. But
yeah, you feel like your expectations are so low that anything you do is going to be a great thing. And
and it just, you don't have, there is something very gratifying about when you do something extremely well or you accomplish what seems to be an insurmountable goal and someone says, wow, that's pretty great. So it's, but I'm very proud of everything that I've accomplished in my life. And I think some of it is I've been able to accomplish it because I am a woman. So
that's exactly right. And you it's okay. If you want to use it, it's fine. But don't be offended by when people say things like that. If you're trying to work on an even plane with people, please, that's what's going to happen. But I am so happy, so honored to have her honor, potentially her honor of the 9th District Court in the house right now. And so Kate Bihm is with us, and we're going to be talking to her right after this. We got a break coming, and don't go away. We've got things that we're going to get into. You won't believe it. You just won't believe it. We'll be right back.
The Cindy Cochran Show. Real reality radio.
In a world where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer, unique images still stand out in local newspapers, magazines, and on the internet. Writer and photographer Brad Meyer has gained a reputation for innovation and quality, specializing in an editorial approach to portraits and event photography. For information, visit bkmeyer.com or call 281-221-4812.
The Cindy Cochran Show. The first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show, and I wanted to do a shout out to a listener that I met, yesterday, and he recognized me from my voice, I guess. But no, Tom Spirock is the listener, and he started listening to the Mark and Cindy show, and then when Mark went to his show that he now has on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock with his wife, and it's called Hanging with the Haters. He listens to them, but he listens to me every day. I'm so happy to have him as a listener and that he recognized me. He is the owner of the Red Wing Shoes store across from Luby's on 105.
my husband is a customer there.
He is?
He
okay. And Richard was just talking about he goes in and gets he got some stuff for his boots and how great the shoes are and all that. So he said he might even be interested in being a sponsor of the show. So we need to make sure this guy is happy, and I'll say nice things about shoes. I'll never complain about shoes. No, but Tom, thank you so much. It was great talking to you, and hopefully, we have you on the show, maybe if you want to talk about that store, because I remember Red Wing shoes, that was, like a very big deal to get Red Wing shoes.
Especially when I was in high school and college, Red Wing boots that's what all the guys wore.
Right.
They wore work boots instead of, exotic cowboy boots or tennis shoes. That's just what they wore. And so, I don't know. To me, it's like a symbol of small town Texas.
That's true. That's true. Well, this is going to be a cool partnership, I hope, and we'll talk to him. I also had Tim Hild likes the Cindy Cochran Show, and that was because Bob Smiley was on the show Wednesday. He listened to that, and he did a like on my page, so hopefully that he'll stay around. We have Chris Rossetti is in San Francisco, and he listened to the show because he was a big fan of Bob Smiley, still is, and so Bob was on the show quite often, and Chris would call in. It was great, and then he stayed with us and stayed with me, and he getting the kids ready for school, and he turns the show on, feeling it's a family show. Sometimes I have to think about that. Oh, did I say something that was probably yourself. Yes, that's right. It wasn't quite appropriate, but no, he's a great listener too, and so I'm excited for the people that we have and it takes a while for people to tell somebody else about it, or if I have a guest on like you, and maybe somebody's listening because you're on here and they go like, well, I'll listen some more because she like my friend. And so it's fine. I did want to mention something that is kind of off subject right now, but there was a musician a couple of days ago that was a friend of my daughter's, Samantha, and she played in their band for a while. He was bringing his equipment out to his car at night, and that's what most musicians do. They have to bring their own equipment out and pack it in the car. And he was jumped by some thugs and beat up, and they stole every bit of his equipment.
That's
horrible. They took all it. It was so maddening. And so he had posted a picture on his Facebook, and Samantha saw it, and he's asking, can anybody help? Does anybody have some? Because that was his livelihood. That was everything.
Sure.
He can't play right now because they beat him so badly. Showed a picture of him, but he's trying to find, to get some equipment. And she reached out to the Royal Dukes organization where she does events with them, and musicians came out of the woodwork. How can I help him? What can I do? We know some people that have, this, and what does he need, and that kind of thing. I love that. But a woman also, who's a female singer in a band, was bringing some stuff out and put it in her car, and they took all of her, like mics and some stands and things like that, and beat her up. So this has happened. I told my daughter, I said,
on a different occasion,
different occasion, and so musicians started talking to each other, and this has happened, and they realize that this is happening quite often, so they're trying to figure out, here's what you're going to have to start doing. And my daughter goes, and she has, like a stand and a mic stand and stuff that she carries to the car, and they a lot of times park in parking garages and stuff, so they're an easy prey because their hands are full trying to pack stuff in, and they're being attacked. So I said, you don't ever go out without somebody coming with you. And she says, well, I hate to bother them. I said, but she said, I don't think not anymore. I'm going to have somebody with me. But I just thought it was so sweet, that they band together, even though they're competitive in the bands and stuff like that. It doesn't matter when somebody does something like that to a musician, they're all on top of it. So I applaud the musicians' world and them coming together to do this. But it's a horrible thing. And if you are a musician and you're out there, be careful, because there's some gangs that are going around and they find you as prey.
Right.
Another thing happened yesterday on our program. We did a lot of political speaking, and mainly me. And I was talking about the bathroom issue.
Yes.
That just is so weird that we're even having to have this conversation about this. And I talked about what I felt potentially this bill could go to and really go awry, and children could be so disturbed by some of the things that could happen, and especially talking about in schools and in locker rooms and things like that. Lo and behold, we find out that apparently the Obama administration does listen to this show, and so I'm sure they felt very fearful that I might makes the people feel strongly about this. Today, all schools got a letter from the government saying that any child has to be allowed to go to whatever bathroom, to whatever sex that they identify with, and they can't be stopped from doing that. And also in locker rooms, and and this is from elementary to college, and in college dorms,
Really?
they have to be able to allow a male who identifies as a woman go in and take residence up in the female part of the college system where the dorms are. And I was just, what? And they said, and if you do not comply with this, then there are federal monies that you could be losing. This was the report that came in, listened to on MSNBC and Fox News, and that this letter went out. And everybody was just shocked, because Greg Abbott was just yesterday at the Republican convention
discussing
saying that he's going to support North Carolina, he's going to be there for them and all that. So this is very shocking. And that when they asked Donald Trump about this, he said the state should decide. This should be a state-by-state thing. Let them decide how they want to handle this. And that's what we thought the deal was, because we had voted on this in Houston. They had a big deal about this and was going to pass the law without giving it to the people. And then these a lot of preachers, ministers got together and got people very worked up and said this needs to be on the ballot, and we're going to vote for it. And then it was defeated. But now it looks like the federal government is overriding that. That's how it appears in the news. It is being overridden.
Or they're going to try.
They're going to try. So as a lawyer, if a school calls you and say, we just got this letter, how do we fight something like this? What do we do? We need to go to what legal, if any, ways they can get around this?
Well, first and foremost, that is not the type of law that I typically practice.
Right.
So that being said, it seems to me as though this decision and this push that is being made by the Obama administration is being done, one, to keep this issue at the forefront, and two, to force the issue of litigation at the federal level when the Supreme Court is particularly vulnerable. And what it does is it makes it an issue in the presidential election because everyone is very concerned about appointing Antonin Scalia's replacement and then the general age of the U.S. Supreme Court. And so I think as voters, this would be something that you would really strongly, if you're passionate about this or you're concerned about it, this would be something that you would consider regarding who you vote for president. Because this issue could conceivably be before the Supreme Court relatively shortly. And it is one that I take the position that it needs to be decided on a state-by-state basis.
Right.
And one of the things that I think is very interesting is this idea that people are boycotting the state of North Carolina on the basis that they disagree with what North Carolina has done. Right. And these are the same people that boycott Chick-fil-A because they disagree with Chick-fil-A and that type of thing. And in fact, your decision not to go to North Carolina is probably just fine with North Carolina. I mean,
okay, Bruce Springsteen, we'll listen to your CDs. It's fine. But I think that when you said Chick-fil-A, in New York, they opened a Chick-fil-A in New York.
Yes, I love it.
And the people, Blasio, the mayor, says, we're going to boycott them. Don't want you eating at a place where there's so much, it's hate-filled. What? And so,
Chick-fil-A,
and
where
what
they
happened?
Serve you your chicken and say, my pleasure.
My pleasure, my pleasure. And so you look at the day they open, and the line is around the block. And it's, New York has big blocks. So you know that these people standing and waiting to get that. And not only because they love Chick-fil-A, but this was a statement that they made, like, don't tell us that, you see what happened to the other mayor who told us we can only have a 20-ounce drink, and that's it. That's all we're going to give you. No more sugar. This is what I love about people. This is what the people have done with Trump. They've come up and said, you know what? You don't tell us. You have done nothing that we've asked you to do, so quit trying to advise us on who we should choose, because we're going to make a statement, and they have done it. And so it's just amazing. We need to go to a break. We have I think we're almost past the break, but it's so much fun talking to you. Don't go away. We will be right back. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, and there's so much more to say.
Art Society. I'm here to remind
The
you to
Cindy
get your tickets
Cochran
now
Show.
for all the upcoming
You
events
ain't heard
that McPass has to
nothing yet.
offer. All shows will be held at the beautiful Crichton Theater in downtown Conroe. Call 936-441-7469 for your tickets today, or go to our website www.mcpass.org for more information. Hope to see you at the show.
Lone Star Internet Radio is now bringing you the weekly business hour show each Monday morning at 11 a.m. My name is Rick Schisler, and I will be your host. Each week we will be bringing you local, area, and national business news that you can use. The program will also feature an interview with a local or national business person who will share their own experiences, successes, and failures in operating their businesses. Our show is for anyone who already owns a business, whether they work solo or have employees, and for those who are thinking about starting their own businesses. A bit of information about myself. Again, my name is Rick Schisler, and I am a Silver Fox advisor who has over 40 years' experience as a serial entrepreneur. As a part of our show, I will offer some advice and encouragement on our monthly topic, and I will take your questions by email at rschisler@silverfox.org or call into the station at 936-647-3776. See you on the radio Monday at 11 a.m. for the weekly business hour.
Lone Star Community Radio is on FM. That's right. Set your radio dials and your button presets to Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1 coming in June 2016. To celebrate this edition and the addition of video versions of our talk show and music shows on YouTube and cable TV, we are offering special sponsorship rates, which include free audio spots that are played throughout our broadcasts. Interested? Check out our sponsor rates for shows just like this one you're listening to right now online at irlonestar.com/sponsor. Or call the station at 936-647-5747. Reaching the people of Montgomery County with Montgomery County's community radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the most opinionated talk show on radio.
And I'm so proud of it. It's so exciting that we live in a country where you can say what you want to say, and if you don't agree, I love that. Just call me. I enjoy discussing, both sides of the aisle. It's fine with me. I like that, and I think right now the Democratic Party and the GOP, nobody can call names. Nobody can point and call names because everybody got some problems, and so Hillary's fighting hers, and Donald's trying to make nice with as many people as he can make nice with and make people forget about things. But you are going to be hearing this story that back in 25 years ago, there was a guy who was calling into reporters and saying he was Jim Miller and he was the spokesperson or the press agent for Donald Trump, and that he wanted to plan a story about what was going on with Donald Trump. And they played the recording, and they said, this is Donald Trump. They all believed that Donald Trump was calling in and putting in his own stories and messing with the reporters. Well, on the Today Show, they played the tape, and it clearly sounds, it didn't even sound like a bad imitation. It sounded like, and he uses phrase like, I can tell you that, and things that he says all the time.
That he still says now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so they played, and he goes, what are you talking about? When did this happen? They said 25 years ago. He said, I don't remember this at all. People imitate my voice all the time, so I don't think I did this. I think it was him, but it's funny. And all he had to say was, I was messing with reporters, so what? Because it's no big deal. It's 25 years ago, and people, but they're going to play.
And he wasn't running for president.
No, that's exactly right. But people are going to play this ad nauseum. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on it. Also, is Monday. I want to tell you that Monday we have Bob Berry every Monday morning. Mm-hmm. He's with us, and Deanie Harmon. I think it's going to change. She may be with us this Monday. I'm pretty sure she is. But what we're going to do is Bob is going to give us a case that he's going to walk in and say, this happened. And this is what we walked into this house. This is what we found. He did this last Monday. He said it was a double homicide, and he explained all the clues that he saw that were before him. And then he's going to give you a chance, and anybody that wants to Facebook in, like what they think happened and who they think did it.
So like your kind of your own version of
Forensic
serial
file
or forensic file or something like that.
Yes, we're going to do that. So you guys be looking forward to that.
And you're going to remind people to vote in
right
the
now.
runoff.
And during Monday, we'll talk about you got to vote, go vote and vote
Yes.
often for Kay Bihm. No, you only did one time, but Kay Bihm running for the honorable.
Judge of
the Ninth District Court. Yes,
Yes.
of Montgomery County. Just think 9 and think Kay Bihm.
Yes, vote
Think
for Bihm,
9
not for him.
And judge and vote for Bihm, not for him. Okay, I love that. That's so great. I thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank
It's
you for
so
having me.
Wonderful
It's been a
to have
ball.
you. Oh, love
and it's
having
so
you.
fun to not talk about campaign stuff.
That's right.
It hasn't been campaigning.
Yeah, because I think this is the time to get to know the person.
Yes.
People probably heard your speech and all that, but getting to know who you are, you're
And
great.
I think that's one of the things too. If you don't work in the legal system, you don't really know that one of the things that makes someone a good judge and that makes them a great judge is not just how competent they are as a lawyer and what they know about the law, but a lot of it is who they are on the inside.
Amen,
It's who
brother.
they are, because
That's
that's
right.
the reason why they call them judges, because they use their judgment.
That's right.
And so it's a good it's just really important
And it's a great
to know who that is.
It's a great qualification that you have, that you know who the Supreme Judge is, and that you
Yes.
go to him often for advice. And that's wonderful for someone to hear, that knows that if I come before you, I know that there's somebody else that you're talking to, and it's not just the way you're prejudiced towards something and all that. But you've got a gift of discernment, and that's a great gift to have, and to be able to use that gift in becoming a judge. So we just thank you so much.
Thank
And
you
you're-
for having me.
And you'll be back,
I had a
right?
ball. Oh, of course I will.
Okay, you have to come back anytime
Yes.
you want to. You have got a
I'll
spot
just
here.
come blowing through
Just
the
come
door and
through.
say, Cindy,
What's up? What's up?
I am here. Let's
Right.
do this thing.
We will make it happen. Okay, well, thank you again. You guys have a great weekend. My goodness, it is just, it's beautiful outside right now. And enjoy yourself. Make somebody else happy today, and you're going to be happier. I can just guarantee it. It's just going to happen. And so we'll see you next week, Monday through Friday, 10 to 11, every morning, The Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you for listening, and I love you, Mom.
Thanks for checking out this production of Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star Community Radio, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, TV, media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production produced by the show host and Dick Schishler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schishler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.